North America, Illinois, Chicago. May 25th, 1979, 12 noon. America's third biggest city, with the busiest airport in the world. Every minute, a plane lands or takes off from O'Hare International Airport. More than 2,000 flights a day. This is one of the most crowded airspaces in the world. On its final approach to O'Hare is an American Airlines DC-10, flying in from Phoenix, Arizona. At the controls is 53-year-old Captain Walter Lux. Walter has worked for American Airlines for 29 years and completed over 22,000 flying hours.
Welcome to Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for flying American Airlines.
It's 1:30 p.m. and Walter prepares to go off duty when a fellow pilot approaches him. The colleague has to attend a family function and asks Walter whether he'll swap shifts and take flight 191 to Los Angeles that afternoon. Walter has to think hard. It's the Friday before Memorial Day holiday weekend, and Walter is looking forward to the break. He lives in Phoenix, but this weekend he plans to stay in the family holiday home in the Chicago area with his son Michael.
It's a neat little house in between two lakes that my dad has purchased way back in 1959. Usually we're out on the water, either fishing or sailing.
The request will mean Walter changing his plans. But he also knows he can call for a return favor in the future.
I'll see you soon. Back we go again, huh? Let's go.
There's no time to let his son Michael know about the change. He'll have to call him from LA. Already, passengers are checking in for Flight 191. 21-year-olds Deborah Ann Maruzzi and Doreen Malik are going on the holiday of a lifetime to Hawaii. Debbie's boyfriend, Ray DeVito, sees them off.
Hi now.
See ya. I'm thinking what a great day it was and just how wonderful it is to be able to just hop in a plane and fly to Hawaii. They were going to land in LA and then take off in LA off to Hawaii. I was just caught up in their excitement as well.
At 2 p.m., Captain Walter Lux hooks up with his co-pilot, Captain James Dillard, another experienced pilot. They'll be flying a DC-10 to Los Angeles. McDonnell Douglas launched the DC-10 in the early 1970s as its own long-haul wide-body jet to rival Boeing's 747. Both McDonnell Douglas and American Airlines rely on the DC-10 to assure their future at a time of turbulence in U.S. aviation. The previous year, in 1978, the industry was deregulated, and established carriers like American Airlines expect to face cutthroat competition for passengers. But the DC-10 is a plane with a troubled history. Since 1971, there have been 3 fatal accidents in which 349 people have died. The worst was in 1974 in Paris, when a Turkish Airlines DC-10 crashed just after takeoff. A cargo door blew off, leading to catastrophic loss of pressure. 346 people died. Nevertheless, the DC-10 and its cutting-edge flight control systems are popular with pilots, including Walter Lux.
He thinks it's a great airplane. He's became a captain on it. Great airplane, especially in the weather in Chicago. February, March, big snowstorms, when a lot of other airplanes might have to divert.
Flight 191 is one of the oldest DC-10s in service. It's flown nearly 20,000 hours since 1972. But the plane recently had a major service. It was given the all clear. At 2:30 p.m., Deborah and Doreen are among the passengers taking their seats. The flight attendants know they'll be busy. It's a holiday weekend, and the plane is almost full. A final count confirms that all 258 passengers are on board. 2:45 p.m. 49-year-old James Dillard will pilot the plane at takeoff and landing.
Engine anti-ice.
This is the first time he's flown the route from Chicago to LA. But for a pilot with more than 1,000 hours flying DC-10s, it shouldn't be a problem. It's just before 3 p.m.
Chicago Tower. American 191 K5, ready for taxi.
American 191 Heavy, proceed to 32 right via the bridge.
O'Hare Control Tower clears the DC-10 to push back and taxi to runway 32R. Air traffic controller Ed Rucker monitors 191's progress.
American 191 Heavy, monitor tower on 118.1.
Ray DeVito watches from the observation deck.
I was first mesmerized by the sheer beauty of this airplane. Beautifully finished in a very high gloss, shining aluminum finish. Thinking, you know, how does this thing even fly?
At 3:01 p.m., 191 pauses for an incoming plane.
32 right, position and hold.
All right.
A minute later, it's cleared for takeoff.
0, clear for takeoff. 32 right, no delay.
American 191, on our way.
In standard pilot procedure, both Dillard and Lux move the throttle forward.
B1.
The wing slats are extended to increase the plane's lift. Within 50 seconds, the 170-ton DC-10 reaches takeoff speed.
Rotate.
But just as co-pilot Dillard eases the plane's nose into the sky, he notices he's lost power from engine 1 on the left wing.
Damn.
Ed Rucker watches from the control tower.
We need equipment. We blew up an engine.
Flight 191 is in trouble. But it's too late for the pilots to abort takeoff. They are now committed.
Loss number 1.
To reduce the load on the 2 remaining engines, Dillard follows AA guidelines and slows the plane to the minimum climbing speed. V2, 283 kilometers per hour. Air traffic control hurriedly make preparations for the DC-10 to return for an emergency landing.
All right, American 191 Heavy, do you want to come back? And to what runway?
The pilots know the emergency is far from over, but they have the plane climbing evenly again, though slightly slower than normal. Just beyond the airport's runway are a trailer park and the Chicago Police Canine Training Facility. Sergeant Ken Berger has been training dog teams in search and pursuit techniques for 17 years. Today's training exercise involves Ken playing a fugitive.
I can hear a plane approaching. The engine is backfiring. It's sputtering. It's nearing.
Suddenly, just 20 seconds after leaving the ground, Flight 191 is in desperate trouble. Without warning, the plane starts to roll to the left. Ray DeVito is still on the observation deck. He watches in horror.
There are 2 fireballs, like flak from a World War II movie. 2 big bangs with a red flash fire, and then it begins to roll over.
Within seconds, the aircraft banks dramatically to the left. Ken Berger and his colleagues see the plane in trouble.
As I break through the trees, the other officers in the training group are running.
The DC-10 heads directly for the trailer park, home to hundreds of people. Ray DeVito runs in panic through the airport. Pilots Lux and Dillard fight to level the aircraft, but the plane does not respond. The nose drops below the horizon.